For this look, you're going to need some card, some scissors, a pencil, some face paints, and some face brushes. First thing you're going to want to do is test the card against your head so that you can mark where your jaw is and where the top of your head is. So that kind of area is where you're going to be filling in fire. So mark that onto the card and then just start drawing your design. I stuck pretty closely to the reference image for this part, but you can do your fire however you want. Repeat the process for the other side of your head and draw out your design. It's also the same process for the top of your head, except I would make this bit quite wide so that the pieces can blend together more easily. Also for the top piece, I gave it a little bit of extra room so that I could cut the curve of my head into it. These are the finished pieces. If you're working on a surface such as your bed, you're going to need a piece of card to put underneath your card so that when you paint it, you don't get any on your bed. And I'm just going to be using my face and body paints that I'm going to be using on my face to use on the card because I figured that would give me the best colour match. So I'm just filling in the majority of the flame sections with yellow, and then I'm going around the edges with orange and blending it in so that there's a transitional kind of colour. Once that transitional kind of colour is in, I'm adding more orange around the edges and kind of flicking it in a flamey looking way, and then adding a tiny bit of red to the edges and blending it in so that there is a very defined set of colours, if that's what you want to call it. It gives it a bit more depth by having that deeper colour in there. Then I'm going around the edges with white body paint. Of course, repeat this process on all the other flame pieces. Where there are pointier pieces of flames, I added little yellow sort of inner bits where there's going to be orange around them. Does that make sense? You can see it kind of, right? Yeah? And then I went around the edges with the orange, being careful not to fill in those yellow pieces. And of course added the little bit of red still to the tips of the flames. Time to cut them out. I thought it was easiest to cut each piece separately so that the others weren't getting in the way, you know? And it doesn't matter if they bend a little bit, it's fine. Mine bent a little bit, it's fine. You can then test them on your head to see if what you've done works. Arrange them how they would look on your head so that you can just see how it's going to look. You can even stick them together now if you want, but I stick them together when I'm putting them onto my head later. But first, I'm measuring my head with a pair of scissors. Not the safest thing, so I wouldn't recommend it. Not that I hurt myself with it, but, you know, just measure your head so that you can see where you cut the curve into the top piece. Draw it out and cut it out. And just keep cutting pieces off until it fits your head nicely. I also cut a slight curve into the side pieces so that they'd go around my face a little bit better. It might be worth taking a little bit more time on this than I did so that it fits your face snugly. And that's the flames done. I wanted to stick really closely to the illustration that I'm referencing, and I wanted to make my face a dog face and have flappy dog ears, but I ran out of time, so I referenced two images, the illustration and a skull that I did last year from one of Lex's videos, which I will link in the description if you would like a proper tutorial for. I just made the black bits of the skull white to fit in with the illustration, and I just did that with a white eyeliner. Next, like with the flames, I'm just filling in the majority of my face yellow and testing where the flame on top of my head is going to go so I know where to paint up to. I ended up painting all the way onto my hair. Yeah, I realised that I couldn't really cover up my eyebrows. I don't have anything to cover them up with, so yep, I'm a skull with eyebrows. You can use a smaller brush to do detail work, such as around the nose or at the lips, or even to try and cover up your eyebrows and still have eyebrows. I then filled in my nose and my eyes and my neck panels with white body paint and drew in those lines by my ears again. Moving on to the teeth, I used orange body paint with a very thin brush to draw in the teeth and the line between the teeth You know what I mean? And then darkened it up with a bit of red. Jumping back to the white body paint, I filled in my cheeks and then started to put some white sort of highlighting on the inner side of the teeth. Yeah, it didn't go so great and looked quite messy, but I tried to blend it in and then decided to just fill in all of the teeth with white all over. After blending that in, I outlined the mouth with orange body paint and my thin brush. I swiftly decided I didn't like how this was looking, so I went around the teeth individually with red body paint and smudged it out on the edges so that it didn't look so liney. The teeth weren't looking right, so I added some more white body paint. And darkened up the outlines again. I went around the nose with orange body paint, and that's all I have to say about that. No, it's not, because I took the orange body paint up the bridge of my nose. I then outlined the lower inner part of the eye going all the way up to the forehead. And just went wild and did some detailing on the temples of my forehead. Smudged it out. I then decided that the white parts were too white and too solid. I wanted them to blend in with the yellow a bit more, but by this point everything was quite dry, so I added in a bit more white body paint and tried to smudge it in. Also added some red stuff to the side of the mouth. Moving on to the neck, I started to draw in the bones of the neck. And attempted a little bit of shading before realising that they were probably a bit too close together, and I then covered it up with yellow body paint and did them again. I tried to blend in the sides so that they weren't so solid, but again that was dry, so I had to add a bit more white body paint, then blend it in with some yellow body paint. You could still see the seam. It was all a bit of a disaster. I think it turned out alright, okay? It's alright. I filled in the side of my neck with orange body paint and then outlined my jaw. To finish off the face, I just added a little bit more detailing with the orange body paint and filled in the cheek bits to make them a little bit darker. I extended the paint down my chest and neck, but just made sure that everything blended in together. It's time to attach the flames to your head. Plan where you're going to put them, then put some spirit gum in that area. Don't forget to tap it, otherwise it won't get sticky. Once it is sticky, press the cardboard to your head and hold it there for a little while until it sticks. Repeat for the other side of your head. Test out where you want your headpiece to go. If you need to, cover your hair in yellow body paint. And then position it and stick it to the other pieces with some sellotape. Don't forget to put anything that you're wearing around your neck on before you put the cardboard on your head.
Sunflower.